FX Morning Mayhem podcast is an essential listen for currency traders. Each episode covers a curated watch list of key currency pairs alongside insightful market observations. It highlights crucial daily news events that could influence the market, ensuring traders are well informed. Additionally, the podcast offers valuable trading strategy tips, catering to both new and experienced traders in the Forex market. This podcast is for educational purposes only. None of this info should be construed as investment advice. To see the trades called out live for free on our Slack channel, click the link in the description or scan the QR code to join the trade faction. If you find this podcast valuable, please follow and share with a friend. And now, on with the show.
Okay. Here are the instruments. Today, Aussie-New Zealand Dollar is pretty much flatlined. Right at the moment, we're in a short wave phase. I changed, when you're done with software, when you just start to fuck around with the aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
So I changed this to, this is the amplitude number. That's the little symbol for amplitude right there, which you can you can see it better here. But I was having a problem because this used to have a label behind it like this, or like a background.
Yeah.
And when these two got really close like this, it was really hard to see what was what because they were like smashing onto each other. So I think this is a little easier to read. It's much cleaner when the line isn't flat, when the amplitude is near zero.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this is near zero, so it's kind of, on top of each other, but that's the only time that's going to happen. So if you look here at when it's separated a little bit, it's much easier and clearer to see. And I think the big number kind of jumps out at you because that's the number that I'm always looking at. So it's important to me. So this is in the actual zone. So we would be waiting for a sweet spot to set up here for a short. Euro-CAD, this is in an uptrend, long wave phase. So we're looking for longs. It's in the zone. So we're looking for a sweet spot to form down here. Pound, Canadian dollar in a downtrend, short wave phase. So we would be looking for shorts, but we are way overextended. We're hyperextended. So we're not going to do anything there right now. New Zealand dollar, downtrend, short wave phase. We're in the zone. We're just waiting for a sweet spot to form for this. Singapore dollar, Swiss franc, slight uptrend, not in the zone. When we get in the zone, we're going to be looking for longs. Nothing to do right now. US dollar, Canadian dollar, uptrend, in the zone, looking for longs. Just waiting for AI to find us an entry. Dollar, Swiss franc, almost flatlined, and looking for longs when it does finally pop into the zone, if it ever does. But right now, nothing to do there. Okay.
All right.
So as far as news today, there was some building permit numbers that were good. It looks like we're building houses again. That's good. But no significant news after that I am aware of. Been pretty quiet. Did we even get a signal yesterday at all?
No, nothing yesterday.
No, that's weird. Oh, wait. Didn't we get them really early in the morning?
Oh, yeah, you know what? We did. We got them. Hang on, let me check
I think we did because I took 2 trades and I made money on both trades. Because I almost
4 and 5 a.m.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Because I remember I have the sound turned up on my computer. So when the alert goes off, it wakes me up in the other room, which pisses my wife off. But I heard it go off and I was like, oh God, it's 4. I don't want to get out of bed. But I ended up sleeping until 5:30 and then got up and checked it and it pulled back to the original entry point. So I got in it again. Anyway, long story short, there were 2 of them and I took both of them and they both made money and I made back almost all the money that I lost in that one big loss. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of back on track. But that's the story of, as Harry Styles says, the story of my life, or was that One Direction? Your equity curve will look like this,
Yeah.
not like this. Okay.
Yeah.
So you people out there who are just thinking about getting into this, that's something you need to understand because it's really hard emotionally to deal with this than it is with this. So most of the time it's kind of like this, it's kind of like, and
Oh,
then,
it's if you manage it right.
yeah, I mean, as long as you have faith in your system, which hopefully you understand what it is and how it works, and you have a proper risk management plan, which I cannot emphasize enough, which means that when you win, you make a little bit more than when you lose. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you always have a plan that does that, you're going to be just fine. It's the people that don't have a plan and take way too much risk and then lose all their money that have a problem. So,
Yep.
all right. So that brings us to the market insight section of the day. And so, Dave, you think people are thinking about AI these days in the workplace?
No, not at all.
Really?
No. I'm
Oh,
sure
you're
people.
just pulling my leg.
I'm just being sarcastic. Yeah, no, the AI is a buzzword everywhere. People use AI to make PowerPoint presentations.
I just saw a little report. I can't remember who did it, but it was interesting. It was all about AI and the world and is it going to make jobs or is it going to take away jobs? So let me tell you what this report found out. It said that over half of Americans are using AI regularly, which kind of surprised me, but not really now, because obviously we're immersed in it, but that's what we teach. So we're up to our eyeballs in it like really early on. But I did notice that my wife is using ChatGPT at work to help her with developing some more sophisticated stuff for her spreadsheets and the analysis she does with those.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still seeing the concern about AI potentially replacing workers? Because that was one of the things in the report, public perception part of the report. People still think AI is going to replace their job.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks something like that still. I don't think it's going to 100% happen there. They might make some choices there, and that would probably alleviate things just because people are working more efficiently with AI.
Mm-hmm.
So that might eliminate some more positions that are there, but I don't think it's going to replace giant positions.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree. If you're doing something really stupid and redundant, it's going to replace you. But that's
yeah,
because you're doing something stupid and redundant.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, I'll use myself as an example because I use it all the time to help me code. But basically, it's like my grunt assistant. Here, put the comments in this code or write me a simple loop that does this. Stuff like that. I know how to do it. It's just a pain in the ass and it takes a lot of time. So to be able to have, a little synthetic assistant that does this shit for you is fantastic. And I think that's what a lot of people who are the early adopters in business, regardless of what their role is, are using it for.
Yeah,
So, but I guess, it says there's a lot of mixed feelings of excitement and apprehension, which I guess I understand. And anytime there's new shit, there's the people that are like, oh, this is so cool, let's go do this. And then there's the people that are like, oh my God, the world is coming to an end.
yeah.
So it was interesting. I showed Pete Lilly that podcast making AI yesterday, and he just freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God!"
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's a pretty cool little thing.
Oh yeah, that was extremely interesting. I think,
Wasn't it cool to
yes,
talk about what we talked about?
I'm just like going, oh my gosh, the back and forth on all that. Wow, we're out of a job.
No kidding. No kidding. Well, you know what it made me think? I was like, I wonder how many podcasts I listen to that are AI and not real people.
I don't know how many you listen to, but I can tell the voices
Yeah.
on like YouTube Shorts and the social media. is huge on these because everybody uses the free version, so they're all the same voices.
Oh, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
So, and
Yeah,
I mean,
and it can just crank out those posts.
oh yeah, because I mean, what they're doing is literally looking at, ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, and they just come up, give me a script for this, and then they feed it into that. That's basically what I'm looking at. I can hear that, I can see that in the shorts and
Yeah.
all the posts and stuff of everybody that's doing it.
It's interesting because I just had this thought. I remember seeing a lot of YouTube videos about content creators just like saying, I'm going to quit because this is just a grind. I can't come up with shit to talk about every day and go
Mm-hmm.
through all the production of making a video and blah, 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 blah. Forget it. It's just not worth all the effort. So obviously this AI stuff is now allowing them to manufacture more content more easily with less effort. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I think the quality of it is probably diminishing. There's so much out there, you don't even know what to look at anymore, kind of a thing. It's like
Yeah.
the YouTube algorithm is defeating its purpose, which is to have quality content on the platform. And now what it's doing is it's forcing people to just shovel shit out there as fast as they can just to feed the beast, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So interesting perspectives there. So anyway, global market outlook. What do you think? Who do you think are the most optimistic and the least optimistic countries when it comes to AI?
I would think more technology advanced countries are going to use the AI.
Do you venture to guess who number one is?
I don't want to go with the obvious and just say the US, but I'll go with China.
Good guess. Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yes, 77%.
Really?
They're the most optimistic about AI. The least optimistic, you'll never guess, are the Eastern European countries, Hungary being the lowest, giving a shit
No.
about AI. On average, 43% believe that AI is going to make the job market grow. 37% of companies have already replaced some workers because of AI, but 90% of companies still plan on hiring more people, so it's not going to make them go away. The global birth rate is dropping precipitously, so I'm guessing, and then if you slice that up by the people who are actually old enough to be working, and then you slice that up by the people who are smart enough to use this stuff, that becomes a very small number. So I don't think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs over this.
Now, here's my problem is that a lot of the entry level jobs are disappearing.
Yes, my kids are
And
having a
that's,
harder time finding a job.
yeah. I mean, there's really a harder, even in the computer industry, there's even a harder place to try to get in because AI is running through testing and, small code projects and stuff like that. People are able to do that a lot more efficiently. So they don't need these entry level guys, but you can't break into an industry all over without, having to get in there.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I think the bad is from this. It takes away the repetitive jobs, and gives everybody like their own personal assistant to help them work harder or work easier. But these entry level jobs are harder, all of a sudden you're going to need 10 years experience to become a coder.
No, I agree. And I'm just looking at it from the perspective of trading too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, the signal that I was able to develop using artificial intelligence and all the bots that are out there and people trying to sell bots. That do
My entire inbox is full of those.
Is it really? Okay. Have you tried any of them?
No.
Because there was a time about a year ago where I was working with an Israeli company and I was trying to get my system to work like a bot with them. And I couldn't get it to work. There's just too much of it that is either out of my control, like when news makes price go nuts, or it's kind of subjective, even though you have the bell rings and you should do a trade, I still look at it and go, do I really want to make this decision or not? And I can't simulate that. And I don't know if you ever will be able to do that. So it's weird. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I do the same thing every time I get a signal. I look and go, is this near a resistance point? You know, if it is, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah. I mean, that human part of this thing, I don't know if that's replaceable.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the signal because in the past, a lot of my time was spent just trying to figure that part out, right? Is something happening here? Do I need to pay attention? But to have the computer do that for you is great, but you
Oh
still
yeah.
have to make the trading decision and evaluate, is the risk worth it at this point? So anyway, continuing to go down this thing, 70% of the CEOs say that their future employees are going to need AI skills. So I'm thinking that's a good statistic to quote at work. The economic impact, already people that are embracing it are showing super high increases in labor productivity pretty much across the board. Over 80% of the CEOs believe it's going to make their workplaces more efficient, and 46% expected to increase overall profitability. So I think somebody said this to me the other day, and I can't remember who it was, but we were talking about this shit, and they're like, "You know what this is?" And I go, "No, what is?" They go, "It's the .com thing all over again." And I
Mhm.
said, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." So if I view it from that perspective, there's going to be a lot of change and innovation, but 80% of the companies we're talking about today won't exist in 5 years.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah, for AI, yeah, you're gonna have a couple that bubble up, and then that's it.
yep, I agree. I
And a lot
agree.
of these fly by
They
nights.
will become the Google and the Apple of AI or something, right?
Hmm.
And the rest of them will just fade away. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, there isn't a single one that's profitable right now. So,
No, no, I mean, but I'll take the free versions of all those. I mean, that's
yep,
especially for small business.
yeah,
If because that's how we use it.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no.
marketing, coming
Yeah.
up with a marketing thing, you can have a marketing schedule, you can have all this stuff designed for you,
Yes,
and then just put it on a list and hit, publish at this date.
right.
And you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it. You just go back to making sure that
Yep.
the analytics works and the orders go out the door.
I agree.
So I can really see some usefulness out of this, but I do think a lot of the smaller ones are just going to go by the wayside.
I'm totally with you there, man.
But
All right. I am out of stuff to talk about. So
okay.
over and out from
All right.
Bill.